There we go.
All right, world, what's going on? Another well, not another, but the first episode, first podcast of the Ryan Rich and Toni Hickman show. I got my girl Toni Hickman, aka Slim Goody, on
We're gonna
video
leave
with me.
Slim Goody out, but yeah, I'm here. Hey, this is the real Toni Hickman. Yes, yes,
I
yes.
was just trying to give you a good introduction, that's all.
I appreciate it. It's all good.
But anyway, so yeah, this is the first podcast of the show that was originally supposed to be done the other day, but we had scheduling conflicts, so we doing it tonight.
Exactly.
And how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Just had a very busy last few weeks and finally got some downtime and we finally getting together with the podcast and everything is
Right.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So all right. So as always, guys, we bring you weekly videos and weekly topics about disability and we let you guys know that disability is sexy. And since this is our first podcast, we are going to talk about disability and insecurity. And I know we've done a lot of videos leading up to this podcast. And one of the videos that we touched on last week was sex in relationships. And we're going to bring that into the fold tonight on the show. So we've talked many times before about insecurities and different things like that and how we overcame insecurities. But one of the things I want to focus on tonight is when it comes to relationships, like how we deal with people that don't know how to deal with a person or people that have disabilities or that have some kind of physical ailment that may limit them and how it can become very insecure for a person. I know through my experience, I've had a lot of friends and a lot of ex-girlfriends who've started out saying that, me having a disability is okay. But when it all comes down to the nitty gritty, uh, they don't really know how to deal or they get kind of scared or they're kind of fearful to get too deeply involved with us because they don't know what they don't want to expect the unexpected, so to speak. So like I'm gonna let you touch on that, Toni, and like give the people some of your experiences and different things that you've dealt with too.
Yeah, definitely. And from my experience, because I remember we was having this discussion,
Mhm.
and I think for men and women it can be a little different because, technically you guys think about sex like every 17 seconds or whatever. So a
Uh-huh.
woman could get sex no matter what, and like it's not a big issue for the attraction, but the initial like going, and it's, I think it's the same for men as far as that is concerned. Not us thinking about sex every 17 seconds, but like as far as dating, it's, you can still have a date, but like making a relationship, that's a whole nother level because people have their own insecurities as well. And so they look at you as being a part of their own insecurities. For me, I was I knew somebody I was with
Mhm.
even before I had my stroke and aneurysm. And after I had it, we went out, and I mean, we were always cool, so, and honest with each other.
Mhm.
And he told me, he said, you done lost your confidence. And I never wanted him to see that. I didn't want anybody to see it. And honestly, I just thought that I was kind of getting away with like the facade of my lack of confidence because at that time I had just came out of like stroke and aneurysm and all of that. And but when he called me out, it was like, dang, and it kind of took me for a loop. So,
Right.
but
Right.
then after that, like I went to the game, I put some braids in my hair. I had to give me my false confidence. So I got my hair done, my fly
Right. Right.
clothes, and then that gave me that extra, like
Mhm.
I was good. But
Right.
even
You
now,
came back.
for me, huh?
I said you kind of got back to your old self, so to speak.
Somewhat,
Somewhat.
yeah.
Yeah.
But even for now, like it's crazy. I stay away. I have stayed away from relationships. I'm finding now that when I do that, it's easier for men to try and talk to me, but I have pushed other people away. I've pushed people away versus allowing myself to actually be in a relationship because of some insecurities that I have faced within myself.
And I would say, you know what? For me too, it has been the same way. I've been cool with a lot of people, and I've had a pretty my fair share of good relationships, and I've had my fair share of bad relationships. But
Mhm.
I have a tendency to kind of push those who may really care for me away, or who may really
Right,
have some type of interest because of the insecurities in the wall that I've built up too.
right.
Uh, and it goes back to what you said. This particular friend that you were talking about, they told you how they felt because they respected you and loved you for you. And sometimes
Hmm.
we need to hear that because, it's, let's be real, it's not that many real people that we can call friends and that we can depend on, uh,
Regardless, right,
regardless of, whether you disabled or, whether if you don't have anything wrong with you at all. So it's good to have that around because sometimes you need to hear that.
right,
Right.
right.
So, yeah. And we just want to remind you guys, man, hit us up on all our social networking platforms. Instagram, the Ryan Rich and Toni Hickman Show on Instagram. You can also find my girl, the real Toni Hickman, on Facebook. You can also search for me, Ronald Richardson, or Ryan Rich on Facebook also, and Ronald_Richardson Jr. on Instagram. And we'll just keep adding more and more to the social networking platforms as we go along. So, you know, the main thing is dealing with a disability is, or just in general, we're not even gonna say disability, but
Right.
since this is a show about disability, we're gonna throw that in there too. You have to have that confidence, man, and surrounding yourself with positive people, and like I tell people all the time, when it came to me having cerebral palsy, my family played a big role in how
Hmm.
uh I grew up. They never treated me like I had cerebral palsy. I mean, they knew I had it, and I was kind of limited as a kid to certain things I could do. But, as I got older, like, you just start to find a way to do things. And, you get around a good group of friends. Like I've told you through many private conversations that we've had, like, I got a good group of guys that I hang around, small group, but a good group, and they all look out for me. And they never treated me like, I had a disability. So
Right.
that played a part in my confidence too. I even went through, uh, you know, not being that confident when I was a teenager, man. But, I had that look in the mirror one day and I was like, you know what? I'm good. It's a part of me, but it doesn't make me who I am.
Most
That's cerebral
definitely.
palsy is just one small part of me. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
yeah. Right.
I have a suggestion, and I know this is all the way off, but like your face is halfway on the screen, like half the time, like you just got your cheek hitting the camera. Can
Oh,
you
I
keep your face available, bro?
right. I'm like on the microphone too. The way I'm positioned, that's
Uh-huh.
all it. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
This is as real as it gets, y'all. For real.
Right.
I'm on the mic. I mean, what you want me to do?
I'm just saying, I ain't trying to see your cheek the whole time. I'm sure everybody else want to see your face too. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
all good.
All
Hmm.
right. Yeah. So what were you gonna say before
I'm
you
sorry.
interrupted yourself?
I know. No, I totally forgot.
We were talking about confidence and surrounding
Oh,
your
yes.
self
Surround
with good
yourself
people.
with, yeah,
Right.
yeah. And I agree with that. And I wanted to comment on something you said because you said you had that look in the mirror one day.
Mhm.
And like I told you, how I went out and I had the false confidence where I got the braids. But then one day I was in the mirror and I was taking my braids out with my one hand, you know what I'm saying? So it's taking a long time and I just started taking the braids out and I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm like, I love you. You know, and I started crying. I started taking the braids out and I was crying like, I love you. I love you. Like, No matter what, no matter if I was dealing with the paralysis and everything I was going through, I learned at that point when I looked in the mirror that I had to love myself.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the only way I was going to get through my changes, because for me, I mourned a loss.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it was like I lost part of myself. I lost, part of my mobility. I lost all of that, and I've gained in the process. But I did go through mourning a loss, and I learned that that was okay, because it was a change that I had to adjust to, you know?
Right. And even with me, like changing, not so much changing, but I've had to adapt to certain things.
Right.
I've just had to accept things that I could not control, and deal
Right.
with the things that I can control. Like I'll never be able to control the way I walk. I'll walk like this for the rest of my life. So
Mm-mm.
I just had to make the best of the situation, and just think positive about it. Like
Right.
take certain things that people say with a grain of salt, because you can't let it get to you. Um, and
People staring, when people
right,
when you walk in, you don't know if they're staring because you're just handsome, or they're
mhm,
staring because you look good, or they're
right,
staring
right.
because you have a disability, or, they immediately look at you and then go down to your feet like, oh, you know what I'm saying?
And I don't know how it is for you, but sometimes when I walk into a room, especially when I don't know people,
Man.
I tense up. I tense
And
up,
that
and I'm
make
like,
it worse, right?
right, right. I tense up, and I'm like, oh man, are they looking at me? Or are they looking at the way I
Yeah,
walk? And
right.
I try to like get my. I think I even did it in front of you, like when we first met. I was like,
Hmm.
and I'm like, wait a minute, you know what I'm saying? This is my friend. Like I could be comfortable in front of her. I could, but I think I even did it in front of you the first time.
Hmm.
I
I
don't I don't
think
even know.
I don't remember. I mean, I think that your walk when I filmed you was pretty cool. But
Right.
by that time I guess you had got comfortable with me, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I guess I would imagine so.
Right.
Right.
But
So
yeah, I get like that. And you know what else? When I get cold, if I get cold, oh my God, it's just
mm,
like, this is not working. But I've learned the secret to that. When nervous or cold, and it's
mm,
just to remind yourself to take deep breaths.
mm,
When you take deep breaths, it takes you out of your head and out of that anxiety. And then, you
right,
loosen up a little bit.
right. And it all depends on you. One of the things that I found out about people that have disabilities, because like I said, I've been researching different disabilities ever since I came out with mine. You don't realize how depressed people get, and
Mm,
you don't realize how, you know, a person may not have a positive support system. So, you know, just because they're dealing with the same disability and some of the same characteristics that you may have, that doesn't mean that they're as confident as you are. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right. And at the end of the day, it's confidence that overrides everything.
Right.
Like, no matter, and you know what? That's whether you have a disability or not.
Hmm.
Confidence is what people are attracted to,
Right.
you know?
If you're not confident, I was told by one of my uncles, like he told me this a long time ago when I just first got into the dating game and just started going out. He was like, you know what? A woman loves confidence.
Mm-hmm.
If a woman can look at you and she doesn't sense you have confidence, well, then she won't talk to you or she'll shy away from you. And
Right.
that was one thing that stuck with me, you know, ever since I can remember. And when I walk into a room, you know, offhand, I'm like, hey, how you doing? I'm Ryan. I introduce myself to whoever. It doesn't, it could be male or female. It doesn't have to be, just that's just who I am. And that's just something
Mm-hmm.
that I worked on over time,
Right. I feel
So,
that.
right. So, this is the Ryan Rich and Toni Hickman show. And we are discussing relationships, confidence, disability. And remember, all disability is sexy. It just all depends on how you want to carry yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, regardless of if you have a disability or not, that's really the importance is how you choose to carry yourself. Do you choose to lack confidence because your stomach is big, or or anything, or you just say, look, you accept me as is and you rock it, like no matter
Right.
what your image is. It's just that issue of self-acceptance, you know.
Right. Self acceptance. That's the word for the night. Self acceptance.
Mhm.
So, man, if you guys have any topics that you want to pass along to us on the Ryan Rich and Tony Hickman show, hit us up through email or hit us up um, as usual on our social networking pages, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. We pretty much communicate through social networking for the most part. Uh,
Yeah, but you
you
can
know,
email us
email
too.
us too. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's at Ron and Tony podcast at gmail.com. And
Hmm.
yeah, if you email us, we will contact you right back. So yeah, but let us know like what you want us to discuss. This is the first show, but we are gonna have guests. We just have to work out a few kinks with our schedule because both of us have like a different schedule. So we're working out the kinks, but we are going to have guests. We are going to play music. We're going to do all of that. And we don't want to search for you. We want you to bring your music to us because,
Right.
yeah, we want to play it. We want to support, but we need your assistance too. And if y'all hear us talking about something and you're like, oh, I wish they would have said that, tell us. And then maybe we could say it on the next show, you know? And also, visit our YouTube channel. Like if you haven't seen what we've been talking about already, it's already starting to be archived on the YouTube. So it's the Ron Rich and Tony Hickman show on
Mhm.
YouTube. Go there and check out our videos. And we're going to be putting them out. But the podcast, you're going to be able to get it on SoundCloud soon and all of that. So this one is going on SoundCloud, right, Ryan?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, we have it coming, and we appreciate y'all, and want you to support everything that we're doing so we can give you feedback.
And in the next couple of weeks, man, what I want to do, I want to try to do Facebook Live so we could do like kind of a more of an interacting thing while
Yeah.
we on it, but we just got to work out the kinks because Facebook Live has been acting up. So, you
I
guys can
think
ask
if
us
we do
questions.
it on, right. I think if we do it on our laptop versus the phone, we might have a better shot with that.
Right. So,
Right.
man, just for the next couple of weeks, stay tuned, and we'll be coming up with more topics. And like Tony said, if you guys have any suggestions on anything, whether it be music, topics, or whatever, and it just doesn't have to be about disability. Like we're gonna talk about everyday life. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk
Yeah.
about different things that people that we know go through. And everything. So it just doesn't have to be about disability, man. So, I just want to tell everybody thank you for supporting us and thank you for subscribing to our channel. And there'll be more to come.
So the real Tony Hickman on social media, the Ron Rich and Tony Hickman show,
Hmm.
and Ron Rich right there. So yeah, follow us on our pages, and
Right.
talk soon. I'm
All right.
sorry, just went in my throat. Ah,
You need to drink you some water.
okay.
You good?
Uh-huh.
All right, man. So just remember to hit us up, hit us up, hit us up. And this first episode should be posted by either tonight or earliest tomorrow sometime. We're not gonna give you a definite time on that, but be on the lookout for it, man. So, just stay tuned for everything, and
It's
we'll
coming.
it's
It's
coming.
coming. Yeah.
Yep. So thanks for the support, man. And we finally got a couple of the kinks worked out. This is the first episode, and you'll be hearing from us soon.
Peace.
Peace.